Voltron Legendary Defender Season 3. Man, it feels like we've been waiting for this season forever, or at least to me. After the last cliffhanger in the second season, oh my gosh. It seemed like I was slowly dying until this new season came along. So, mild spoilers for Season 2. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. Go watch the entire season again. Voltron is amazing. That's my review for Season 2. It's amazing. Go watch it. So anyway, at the end of the second season, we end in a big cliffhanger. So the Paladins all come together and they finally start fighting, or they finally battle Zarkon. And it's a big, awesome, epic battle, and it was really amazing. And at the end of it, they're able to defeat Zarkon, but at the cost of Shiro. Well, at least at the end of the battle, when they look inside the Black Lion, Shiro is gone, and they don't know what happened to him. And that's where the season ends, you know. You got one paladin down, so it was a big cliffhanger, and I was really excited to see what happened. So the second season, or the third season, starts off almost right after that. So the paladins are doing great, you know. Everyone's hearing about their victory against Zarkon, so they're gathering all these planets as a coalition, and they're actually starting to fight against the freaking Gola Empire. So things are going good. The only problem is that a lot of the people who are fighting with them are there for Voltron, and they can't form Voltron, obviously, because they're missing Shiro. So that's a big issue and a big part of the first few episodes of Season 3. And of course, the big main bad guy of this season is Prince Lothor. For those of you who watched the original series, you're probably going to be more familiar with him. Anyway, Prince Lothor comes and takes over the Empire for his father. He was in exile, apparently. We don't know why, but that's one of the things they mention in this season, that, you know, he's returned from exile to take over his father's empire. So he's returned, and I have to say, I like Lothor. He's not like Zarkon. Zarkon seemed to rule by power and fear. Like, people respected him, and he's extremely powerful. I mean, he could take on a lion, you know, without any kind of, you know, machine, pretty much by himself, which is extremely powerful. So, you know, people feared and respected him. But, you know, Prince Lothor, like, before he gets there, or before, you know, we are introduced to him, a lot of the commanders of the Gola Empire are kind of getting ready to take over. They're like, oh, Zarkon's gone, you know, Lothor, he was exiled, you know, he's no good or whatever. So they're ready to rebel. But he comes in and he has this swagger and mystique about him, and he just kind of sweet talks everyone, and he's, you know, he gets everyone on his side. He's like this smooth operator. He's skilled and a great fighter and everything. He doesn't seem really powerful, but, you know, he has different abilities from his dad, and, you know, being able to convince people to do something is one of his abilities. So he gathers the Empire around him, and he becomes the pretty much the bad guy for this season. So overall, this season was good. If you watch the first two seasons, you're gonna enjoy this season. You know, it has great animation, freaking great comedy, humor, freaking great action. You know, a lot of the same. So, like I said, first, second, and third season are great. Really, really enjoyable. There are some things that I didn't enjoy, but I'll get into them. So, one of the things that I really appreciated about this season is we get a lot of character freaking building and world building. So, we get a lot of new information about Voltron and how he came to be. And I guess where the series is going to head, you know, later on, which is really interesting, because I know there was something that they talked about, like, I don't want to give a lot of spoilers, that they talked about last season. There was a character who always kept mentioning, you know, oh, I gotta do this because in this reality, you know, if you've seen the season, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so a lot of, you know, world building. We get to know about the creation of Voltron in this season, which is really interesting. And, you know, that one story of how Voltron came to be, I feel like it can be its own entire series on its own, which will really be interesting. And like I said, the characters get a lot of development in this season. With Shiro gone, you know, there's a lot of, you know, there's a leader position to be filled. There's a lot of positions to be filled, and the characters have to grow to fill these empty spots. So it's really interesting. Like I said, we get to know more about the characters and we see them evolve. So it was really good in that part, in that regard, in the season. So one of the things that you're probably wondering is how long does it take them to replace or find a new pilot? Well, by the end of the second episode, all the lions have pilots. If you've seen the original series, you probably already know what's going to happen, and if you haven't, you probably already know who's going to take that position because there's only so many characters or main characters in the show. So it doesn't take them long for them to fill that position, which is good because if they spent the entire season filling this position, I think it would have really, really suffered. So, like I said, it's a great season, but unlike the other seasons, I think this one had a lot more flaws. One of them is that this season is 7 episodes long, and it's not because they're cutting back and then Netflix is saying, hey, we want to get rid of Voltron. It's because apparently, I guess it's doing so good that Netflix decided that if they cut the seasons in half, we can have more Voltron throughout the year, which is theoretically a good thing, and I'm pretty excited for it because after this season, the next one is in October, so we don't have to wait like a year or 8 months or whatever it is for the next season, which is really good. But at the same time, these seasons seem to be planned out, for a 13 season arc. So you could tell this season suffers from it because you could tell that it ends on the 7th episode, and it ends like the 7th episode is my favorite episode of this season, and it's a great episode. But it just kind of ends, and you're just like, okay, there's no cliffhanger, there's no like, oh man, I can't wait to see the next episode kind of feeling at the end of the season. So it kind of suffers at that regard. And the first 3 episodes, I also felt were a little slow. Like, they're good episodes. They introduced Lothor, there's a lot of character building. They filled the positions of the lions. But that's one of the things that I think suffers. They retread a lot of ground. Like, they have to find someone to pilot the new lion. And when they do, they have to come together and work as a team so they can finally, pilot Voltron or combine to make Voltron. So the new pilot has trouble piloting the lion, and then they have trouble forming Voltron. And it's something we've seen before. I mean, by the 3rd episode, they're gelled, and they're a great team. But since it's a smaller season, you have 3 episodes where they're kind of trying to get the hang of Voltron again. So 3 out of 7 episodes, you only got 4 episodes that don't really focus on stuff that we are already familiar with. But those 4 episodes are great and amazing. Like, I love the 4th episode. It's probably my second favorite one of this season. If you're a fan of the original series, there's a character, Sven, in that series who shows up in the 4th episode. And it's a great callback to that show. I was kind of laughing. It was awesome. It's one of the things I love about this show. Their little callbacks to the original series. So, if you're a fan of that season or the original series and you remember Sven and his specific story, you're gonna, as soon as you see him, you're like, oh man, is this gonna happen? And spoilers, it does. So anyway, like I said, this season suffers from being cut in half, and because the pacing feels off. It feels a little bit, slow at the beginning, and then it just kind of feels abrupt, towards the end. But like I said, it's nothing you can really hold against the show. Netflix decided this so we could get more, episodes sooner. Like, if it wasn't for this, we'd probably be waiting until October to get this entire season 3. Which, I mean, I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, but I want to see the episodes as soon as possible. So for me, it's good that these episodes are coming out sooner, even though they suffer for it. I mean, the show is still good, and when the second half of this season, or if they call it the 4th season or whatever, comes out in October, I'm definitely going to watch it back to back and see how it gels, and then probably judge it from there. But overall, this season was really enjoyable. Like I said, if you are a fan or enjoyed the first and second season, you're going to enjoy this season. This season is just as good, fantastic. The animation, is stellar. I freaking love it. And I think they even improved the music, or at least there seems to be a few more tracks that I noticed when Voltron is out battling, which is good because the music has been decent, not memorable, but decent. So I'm liking that they're, introducing new music. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, this is a great or good season. It suffers a little bit, because it's cut in half. So I would rate it 8 out of 10, It isn't perfect because, like I said, cutting it in half definitely makes the season suffer. But overall, it still has all the greatness of the last 2 seasons, and I really enjoyed it. So, like I said, 8 out of 10. I can't wait to watch the next half of the season, or season 4, whatever they're going to call it, in October. And October's not too far away, so that's pretty exciting. If you saw this season, what did you think of it? Did you think it was great? Did you think it was bad? You know, are you done with Voltron? You know, let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you like this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Hey, if you like this video, we have several other awesome videos you can check out. And again, thanks for watching.